All right, time to quench our thirst. Our next run is Pepsiman by TheFlyingMarlin. Please take it away.
All right, so yeah, without further ado,
All right, sorry, we did meet the incentive for cutscene percent.
all right, sounds great.
So we get to see some excellent American acting in this Japanese game.
It is the epitome of American acting in Japanese games. I'm not sure to what extent that is, but okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let this play out and explain it later.
Hey, let's start the game.
So yeah, the game has a bunch of FMV cutscenes like that, which feature this American actor named Mike Butters, who is wearing pretty much the same shirt that I'm wearing. And there are these cutscenes too, which explain the storyline.
Pepsiman, you got here just at the perfect time. I got a call that a vending machine ahead ran out of Pepsi, and I was just on my way there when I got a flat tire. There are a bunch of people gathered in front of the vending machine. They want Pepsi, and the word is that they're just about to riot. I plan to head over there as soon as I can fix this flat. But it looks like it's gonna take some time. Can't you do something, Pepsi Man?
All right, so basically we're in San Francisco, California right now. Yeah, this game, much like the previous game you saw, features a it's like a junk food mascot who runs across America to various cities. So right now, our quest is to refill a vending machine downtown that ran out of Pepsi, because the guy who's supposed to refill it is too lazy to fix it, so we have to do it. This game was exclusively released in Japan for PS1 in 1999, I believe, and is a tie-in for a series of commercials featuring this superhero, Pepsiman. Why the Pepsiman ads were limited to Japan, or why they don't even continue, I don't know. I think Pepsiman's a great ad campaign, but they stopped it. Oops. Can't play this game without showing off a little bit of its clumsiness. There we go, that's the first part of the first level, or stage, I guess. The game's divided into 4 stages, and each stage is divided into 3 levels. A little more on that later when we get into the variations of it, but... So we got 3 cans there. Ideally, you want to get no cans, because then that little jingle we heard won't play. So we didn't refill the vending machine yet, I just took a stop to, I guess, reload with more Pepsi. There we go. So if anybody watching this is a fan of THPS, you're in for a treat, because now we have a skateboard. Yeah. Skating down the streets of San Francisco. This level has often been likened to the City Escape level from Sonic Adventure 2. However, this game actually came out like a couple years before that, so if anything, that copied this. This skateboard's an auto-scroller. We can't really do anything except for jump and move side to side, but it's not too hard. Right, there we go. There are all the people who are thirsty and on the brink of rioting because they don't have Pepsi. Because Pepsi's a really hot commodity in this timeline. So yeah, we just did the first 2 levels of the first stage, but there's 3 levels in each stage. And the 3rd level is like this. we're being, as you can see, the camera angle's changed. This is pretty much an auto scroller. Like other ones, you can only move side to side and jump. And you have to react towards some stuff that's coming towards us. There are no cans to collect, it's just pretty much a boss level. Alright. We take 3 hits in this level and then we'll die. There we go. That's the first stage. The game's divided into 4 stages, so we are very roughly a quarter of the way done. The game does get more complicated after this, though. So, yeah. We do get another cutscene, both featuring our friend Mike and a lore cutscene.
You're doing pretty good. Have a Pepsi.
Have a Pepsi.
Next stage.
Alright, so now we're going to find out what our quest is for this next level. It's a little more severe than a Pepsi machine running out of Pepsi, I'll tell you that.
Pepsiman! There's a building on fire just ahead. We need to get there immediately, but look what's happened! According to reports I have heard, they got the fire under control, but there are some people that couldn't escape fast enough and are trapped on the roof. They are extremely exhausted, and it doesn't seem likely that we can get first aid to them in time. Can't you give them something to help revive them, Pepsiman?
Alright, so now we're going to be in New York City. I will say that there's nothing in-game that tells us where we are, but in the game's manual, there's like a little blurb saying, hey, this is what city you're in. So yeah, it's a total change of atmosphere. Cars going out of control, police cars crashing into the walls. I think that's what New York's like. So yeah. How Pepsiman got from San Francisco to New York, I don't know, but we're on top of this barrel now. This is kind of like the skateboard from before. We have limited motion controls. There's a little shortcut we can take over here to avoid like 12 Pepsi cans. Now we're going to come up on one of the first, in my opinion, one of the first really hard parts of the game, which is this giant bridge. This requires like some sort of muscle memory and rhythm to get into. There are many places here where one mistake will pretty much result in an instant death because there are a bunch of holes in the bridge and there are a bunch of girders which can easily knock you into the holes. I'm gonna jinx myself. Alright, made it through there. Now just look at where Pepsiman's standing. That might give you some hint as to what's about to happen to him. If you've seen any old retro cartoons, you know what's going to happen next. Yeah. I should say that if you get enough cans, you get an extra life. Hopefully we won't have to do that, and hopefully we won't get that. So yep, there we go. He fell down. And because we are in New York City, well, we'll see what happens when you fall down a hole in New York City. There's sewer right now. That jump is hard to nail, but at least I didn't get the can. That's good. Now we're about to bust out of the sewers and onto the subway tracks. And Pepsiman is ostensibly wearing a metallic suit. Now, how he is able to run on live subway tracks while wearing a metallic suit and not get shocked, I don't know, but he can do it. there's like a shovel or a rake back there, which is kind of like Tom and Jerry or Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons, where if you step on it, it'll thwack you right in the face. And that's pretty funny, unless you're playing the game, in which case it's not that funny at all. So now we're in a subway station. Just gotta not run anybody over, because that's not what superheroes do. Oh, here we go. We're just gonna run across these roofs like Spider-Man or Batman, or I'm not a huge superhero fan, but except for Pepsiman, I am. So yeah, we're spraying Pepsi at these people who are on top of a burning building just to quench their thirst. We're not actually saving the day, although I guess in this universe we are, because Pepsi. Okay, we got no cans there, so we didn't hear that jingle for that. So he saved the day, but he fell down because he's a klutz. Right on to a pizza truck. So yeah, later on in the stage, just take a look at the logo on the side of the truck, because it may or may not be a shout out to another soda company. I am legally not allowed to say the name of that company during a Pepsiman run, but maybe you can tell what it is. So yeah, with this level, it's interesting because there are these big brown barrels that are introduced, and instead of just knocking you over, they hold you in place. So you can, so unless you move out of the way, then the truck will catch up to you, and you'll have to restart the level. There are also some spots here, like I just right there, where you can just stay still for quite a while, and you won't have to move because there are no obstacles that will pop up. Oops. This is fine. So yeah, take a look at that truck. Red pizza, but that logo looks awfully familiar. I wonder. As stage 2's done, 2 down, 2 to go. So now we're going to get another visit from our old friend Mike, who's wearing a stunning shirt.
Pepsi for TV game.
Pepsi for TV game. Don't worry, I'm not actually playing it on that PlayStation.
Pepsiman, a plane full of passengers had to make an emergency
This guy's
landing
awfully
in the
calm.
desert. We were on our way there when the helicopter broke down. Fortunately, no one was hurt or killed. But in the middle of nowhere, right in the middle of the desert, and they are all exhausted. Another helicopter is on the way, but it looks like it's going to take some time. Isn't there anything we can do to help them until that helicopter arrives?
Alright, so as you heard there, a plane made an emergency landing in the middle of the desert. By some stroke of luck, everybody's okay, but they're thirsty, so you just gotta give them Pepsi. So now we're in the middle of Texas, just in the middle of the desert. Oh, it survived, that's good. Sometimes it'll flatten you, sometimes it'll just trip you up, but just be a little careful there. Okay, we made it through that stretch. So now Pepsiman isn't running through the desert, he's just running on a road. He's a law-abiding citizen, although I guess it'd be more law-abiding to run alongside the road. But he's not coming across the desert for some reason. Oops. Oh. So there are these logs that we have to dodge, and it's RNG. Let's see if we can do this. Next time we'll see that we phase through a rolling log. I'm not going to do that again because it's a risky strat, but it's just fun to do. So yeah. Basically you have to duck or jump to avoid these logs. Okay, there we did a swag strat again. Alright. So now this is a frustrating part of the game, casually and in a speedrun sense. There are these motorcyclists who are trying to just cut us off because they're mean. If you want to have a good opinion of motorcycles, don't play this game because the motorcycles in this game are vicious and they are out for vengeance for something that Pepsiman ostensibly did. I don't know what he did, but it must have been bad if every motorcyclist in Texas is after him. Alright, so this part's pretty easy. You can just outrun it. You can just spam the dash button. Just watch out for this car right there because that trips you out. Alright. do the car wash. Did not get hit by the spinning thing. That can be really annoying if you're just about to finish the level and then right at the end you get hit by the spinner. Anyway, so we're halfway to the plane and we're taking a little Pepsi break because we all need a Pepsi break every now and then. Yeah. So we started out in California, so that was the West Coast. Then we went to New York, East Coast. Now we're in Texas, the Gulf Coast. Oops. As I said, there are 4 stages in this game, so where's the 4th stage going to take us? There's only one way to find out. Running on this dirt road, no cars. There's buffalo though, and somehow there are giant rocks in the middle of the dirt road. So I don't know who made this road, but evidently they're not the best civic planner. Alright, so this is a really frustrating part of the game. We're on a barrel. We have to go across 3 footbridges. Each of them is smaller, narrower than the last one. The third one is really hard. The hitbox is not that forgiving yet, and this requires constant course correction, so we made it. That's good. All right. I'm actually really relieved that we made that. That's really hard. So now we're in an old mine, and there are mine carts and boulders and everything rolling all over the place. We're like Indiana Jones, or sort of. No snakes, though. That's good. Do you have any donations or funny chat messages? Now would be a good time to read them.
Yeah, we actually have a donation from SexRex for $20. Says $10 into the swear jar plus another $10 for going over estimate. And then a donation $50 from Plant Sky says this donation this goes towards the Diet Pepsi Man incentive. Thanks in advance. Also, grats to Tormod and Saxon.
Oh yeah, congrats. I should have said that earlier, but yeah. All right. Made it through the mine. There are all these people. I don't think I've ever seen anybody this happy to get Pepsi. If you look on the right side of the screen, there's this guy who's just flexing like this. I just really like that character model. All right. So now what's going to happen? Oh, it's our old friends, the buffalo. And the logs from the log truck, which apparently fell off. And now we have a giant, sentient mass of logs chasing us down the street. I didn't major in physics in college, but I do know a little bit about the laws of motion. I don't think that this can really happen. But we're being chased by a bunch of logs, and they're spitting out logs in this pattern. I should say that this is not RNG. It's the same every time. There's very little RNG in this game. So yeah, this is all, not only is this formulaic, but it's, wait, gotta hit right there. But it's also according to a pattern, and the pattern is pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. All right, there we go. All right. So we've made it through 3 stages, and now we're going to get some more cutscenes, but and the next stage is by far the hardest and probably the most fun to watch because there's so much crazy stuff going on and way more Pepsi advertisements than the last 3 stages combined. So here's Mike, staring intently at the camera.
Pepsi for pizza.
Pepsi for pizza. That's like the most iconic quote in the whole game. It makes sense.
Pepsi Man! It looks like the main computer of Pepsi City went out of control a little while ago from being overloaded. All the roads are affected by the computer and we can't move ahead. There isn't enough Pepsi for everyone, and violence has flared up amongst those wanting Pepsi. Exhausted people are collapsing because they can't refresh themselves with Pepsi. If it continues like this, there will be a worldwide shortage of Pepsi, and we'll have a real problem. Can't you do something to put the computer back in working order?
I almost never watch these cutscenes, so I just forgot how absurd that they are. So yeah, basically, it's just said we're in Pepsi City right now. I don't know where that is. Don't know what coast it's on. It's on the Pepsi coast. But basically, yeah, the central computer at the Pepsi bottling plant has gone berserk, and yeah, everybody's freaking out because there's no Pepsi. And if you just take a look at the city so far, you can probably tell what role Pepsi has on daily life and the economy and everything in the city. So I'd say their writing is warranted. So yeah, every truck, car has Pepsi on it. Every building has numerous Pepsi logos on it. These pillars are Pepsi cans. And it's rolled from the trash can from level 1. These trucks are just going out of control. There's people passed out in the streets. It went from 1 to 10 very, very quickly, or 0 to 100, or 0 to Pepsi very, very quickly. Yeah. This road is torn up, and there's nobody around to fix it. So that tells me that Pepsi City is somewhere in the upper Midwest, because otherwise they would have fixed the road by now. Here we go. All right, we're about to enter the factory. But first, Pepsi time. Yeah, saving the world, we can put that off until later. I need Pepsi right now. And somehow he went to the one machine that still has Pepsi in it. So yeah, the next level is the factory level. Probably the hardest level in the game, if you ask me or any other person who's played the whole game. But yeah, it is pretty fun. It introduces a whole bunch of new mechanics that it's new to the game. So yeah, the first mechanic that's introduced is these conveyor belts. They move in the direction of the arrows, so they can push you around. It's really annoying if you fall down because they can push you right into a hole, which is a new skill. Fun fact, this is modeled after the... Whoops. Yeah, fun fact, this level is modeled after the Pepsi bottling plant in Pepsi City. Maybe oh, that's the first death to run. That's pretty good. Oh, I almost died. Almost died there, but there's like a little forgiveness period if you go over an edge, because I don't know, the game. Right, it's the first segment of this level, one of the pipes, and with these pipes, it's pretty easy to get kind of greedy with your jumps and stuff, jumps and dashes. So you gotta time yourself. All right, so now we're going through this section with floating floating crates and hoverboards and random crap like that. And, okay, through there. Okay, there we go. That's the trickiest part of that part. Now we're gonna go on the hoverboard. And this might be the trickiest part of the whole game. The curvature of the hallway kind of makes these hitboxes a little misleading. And if you hit anything, you die, so let's not die. There we go, first try, all right. So yeah, Pepsi Man saves the day. Computer is fixed just by spraying Pepsi at it. If only that was how computers worked in real life. Life would be a lot easier, but unfortunately, that's not how it works. All right, so now he saved the day. Yeah. Running outside. And now he's about to be betrayed by the very thing he stands for. You know, you see those videos of like top 10 anime betrayals, but I don't think any of them have this, which is a gross travesty. This Pepsi Man is being chased by a giant Pepsi can and his little Pepsi can minions. This is terrible. If we have any other donations or messages or anything like that, now speak now or forever hold your Pepsi. Okay, that's fine. I have stuff to say. So yeah, this is really fun. We're gonna run this here. Thanks for everybody putting this together. Time will be called when the camera pans out at the end, but we do have a cutscene after that. Yeah. All right. A few more cans to dodge. Time.
I was just a second late there, but 25-25.
Well, that's pretty. That's
For all cutscenes?
I mean, not exactly sure what that equals to, but I feel like that's pretty good for an all cutscene. Right?
I think so. I don't know about you, but I could really go for a Pepsi now.
Well, me too. I mean, I think the caffeine might not be good for this time of day, but
Everybody Pepsi. Drink Pepsi.
also, little detail, that Hollywood banner hanging up in the corner, it was...
Pepsi. Only my choice.
Sorry, I can't talk over that line, but basically, the Hollywood banner up in the upper right corner by his head, that kind of fell down. It was sitting up perfectly for all the cutscenes, and then when he jumped on his couch or chair, it fell down. I'm not sure if that was planned or if it just happened, but either way, it's a great detail that I did not notice until forever. Also, there's a guy in the credits named Emperor Kitada. Wonder what in the special thanks section. I have many questions. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Oh, there's another cutscene. I don't know all these cutscenes.
Yeah.
Pepsi is... Excuse me.
Because at the end of the day, we all need a little bit more toilet humor.
All right. Thank you so much for that awesome run of Pepsi Man, the Flying Marlin. We will get set up for our next run, which is Pokemon Sapphire by Melon.